It has happened again. Arise TV shocking moment. The EFCC spokesperson accidentally exposed the truth behind Tinubu and Nigerian politicians just a few hours ago. Come and see this video where the EFCC reveals the issues they are facing with Nigerian politicians. The shocking truth is that Nigerians still believe there's hope for change from our current politicians to help the general masses. However, this video unveils the truth that will change citizens' mindset forever. My people, don't go anywhere because I will be showing you proof supporting the secret I'm about to reveal in this video. But if you're watching us for the very first time, kindly like, comment and share this video across all social media platforms, and also don't forget to click on the notification icon to stay updated on our next video. So don't go anywhere, I'll be back shortly.
When can
the whole of crime scene
is happening in the street again.
The center of political news, celebrity gossip, religious gossip, and happenings in the society.
Join us, the voice of Africa.
Welcome back, my people. Tension is boiling over as recent comment from EFCC Chairman Bola Ahmed on anti-corruption efforts, especially towards Nigerians youth, have sparked an intense public reaction. During a recent interview, Ahmed boldly claimed that with President Tinubu's backing, there's no hidden place for corrupt persons, promises transparency and action against financial crime. But my people, the reality on the ground tells a different story. One that's infuriating Nigerians across the board. Despite assurance, many are increasingly skeptical of the EFCC's intentions. Social media has erupted with criticism, pointing out how the EFCC action seems skewed disproportionately, targeting every citizen, including students and young entrepreneurs, while corrupt politicians appear to escape accountability. Imagine these cases where the EFCC harasses citizens without solid evidence, often violating basic rights, while ignoring the massive looting happening right under the noses among top political figures. My people, it's not surprising that many see this as a deliberate distraction, a tactic to divert attention from holding the powerful accountable. Here's the shocking truth people are discussing about. Nigerians youth are frequently labeled as the culprit of petty crime or internet fraud, yet the structural issues, unemployment, lack of opportunities, and poor governance that drive these behaviors are ignored. Instead of tackling the corruption leading the nation, EFCC seems more focused on targeting struggling citizens. This has left young Nigerians feeling betrayed and disenfranchised, seeing an agency that punishes the vulnerable while letting the elite politicians who loot our nation's wealth roam free. Nigerians everywhere are questioning whether the EFCC truly serves the people or if just another agent of corruption hiding in plain sight. Many are demanding that the EFCC focus on high-profile cases, addressing systemic issues, and bring impartiality to their operations. This is the tension, my people. Watch this video to grasp how deep the issues run, and I will show you undeniable proof that the EFCC worked hand in hand with politicians, feeding off the public while deflecting guilt onto innocent youth. Don't go anywhere. Share this video and let's hold them accountable. I'll be back shortly with the evidence.
From your girlfriend, and your girlfriend could go to EFCC, and EFCC will invite you, and you're asking yourself, what has this got to do with economic or financial crime? So that's blatant abuse of power. That's number one. The second one is that the EFCC has abandoned its mandate and reduced itself to a debt collection agency. Notwithstanding the numerous court decisions saying the EFCC must stay within the narrow confines of law enforcement, not law enforcement, of financial and economic crimes, the EFCC has gone on for debt recovery. And finally, the EFCC itself, a number of officials there, are more corrupt than those they are chasing. So you remember what happened to Mr. Bawa, Mr. Metwale, where Mr. Metwale finished his tenure as governor of Zamfara State, and he said he was invited by Mr. Bawa to bring $2 million so as not to be investigated. So the EFCC itself has become a corrupt organization which needs to be completely disbanded and a new body set up.
So your assessment, in summary, basically, as we round off the discussion, is that the EFCC, not only does it not have the resources to properly fight corruption in Nigeria, it doesn't have the ethics.
The EFCC has the resources, it doesn't have the ethics. The EFCC majors on minor issues, for example, catching students and showing them as cyber criminals. And so it says it's procured 1,000 convictions. And when you look at them, it's people who have defrauded someone of $20 or $22. That's not the mandate. That's a peripheral aspect of it. The central mandate is to ensure that the resources which are put in the hands of states are used for states. And in that respect, the EFCC has failed woefully.
Professor Fidelis Odita there. Well, the EFCC has suggested that there'd been inaccuracies in Professor Odita's assertion and asked for a right of reply to, as they put it, set the record straight. Of course, in public discourse, there are often different versions of the truth, with remarks or smears, sometimes made overtly or inadvertently. We in mainstream journalism try to counter this with balance and with facts. And where those facts are not available or empirically verifiable, we do so through an internationally recognized editorial doctrine known as the fairness obligation or the right of reply. And so to this effect, we're giving the right of reply on the program tonight to the development expert and public policy analyst Abba Kaka, who is an anti-corruption crusader and who the EFCC has nominated to speak on its behalf. And Mr. Kaka joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't know you had crossed the Mason-Dixon line.
I have not.
Okay, well, you have the right of reply on behalf of the EFCC, so you have the floor.
Well, first, thank you for having me. And actually, it's an honor to be here talking about this topic. As you know, I'm passionate about two things. One is anti-corruption. The second is humanitarian issues. So anytime you call me about these issues, I'll be glad and honored to be here. Back to the professor's issue. Obviously, as a senior advocate of Nigeria and the King's Council as well, I'm really surprised for him to have belittled an agency, crime-fighting agency like the EFCC in the manner he did. He, as a lawyer, he who, accused must prove. He said one of the 3 points he mentioned was that EFCC has become an agency where you settle scores. If your girlfriend, runs away, you go to EFCC. Well, as a lawyer, if his girlfriend has run to the EFCC, let him bring the proof. And as a lawyer, show it.
Well, I'm sure if he was in a court of law, he would, but he wasn't in a court of law.
Well, then that's idle talk. Second, he talked about the FCC has been reduced to debt collection. You see, all those people, corrupt individuals in Nigeria, are belittling the EFCC, the ICPC, the NFIU, the police, and all for a purpose. And the purpose is the more you are doing work, the more they go after you. Obviously, no agency is perfect anywhere in the world. And EFCC is not an exception. But from the kind of crisis we are in, this is a collective fight for the soul of the nation. That is why I'm passionate about the fight for corruption. Some governors even went to the Supreme Court trying to disband the EFCC. Then after that, I don't know if they are going for ICPC, the police, and the army. I don't know where they will stop. You loot our money, you come and pay for it. And that's what the EFCC is doing. So currently we have a chairman who is a no-nonsense. And he's doing that perfectly. But he's not a perfect man. You understand?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point is that you're actually making the same points that Mr. Odita, Professor Odita was making. I mean, you're passionate about fighting corruption.
Yes.
That means that you are a sort of watchdog on the anti-corruption agency.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what he's doing. And you have said here, you yourself have said here on Arise News, in fact, just about a month ago on Newsnight, that you only respect 3 EFCC chairpersons who have actually fought corruption.
Yes.
And you named them as Nuhu Ribadu, Ibrahim Magu, and the current chairman, Olu Kayode.
Yes.
So in a sense, you are agreeing with Professor Odita if you say that out of 9 chairpersons, including those who acted, who've been appointed, you can only point to 3 who are actually fighting corruption. I mean, you're making the same point that he's...
No, I'm not making the same point. The difference between me and the professor is that unless he doesn't live in Nigeria, as the King's Counsel, probably he lives in London most of the time.
He lives here as well. Okay. That's why he's a senior advocate of Nigeria.
He should actually know better. And all you have to do is do some research and go to the EFCC's website and see actually what they're doing. I live in Nigeria most of the time, and I know what they're doing. The reason why I picked those 3 chairmen is because of their outstanding record, which is, you know, a lot of people agree with that. The other ones, I didn't pick them because I didn't believe they fought corruption like the way it should be.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
So therefore, for him to have said that, you know, EFCC is reduced to settling scores and debt collection. Look at the recoveries that they've made, you know, in the last 1 year, 1.5 years of even this chairman himself. I have the record for you here, if I don't want to make a mistake. 248 billion naira, $105 million, 53,000 pounds, 172
but those are just numbers. What were the circumstances under which they recovered?
Well, that is a different topic.
Well, it's not a different topic.
Well, anyway.
I mean, you have to you can't just say they brought back
that's the
amount. Where did it come from?
They came from different crime people who
How many of those people were former governors, for example?
Oh, several. Several. One of them just left your studio, and the case is still going on, right?
Well, his case is still going on.
Exactly.
He has
been accused for 13 billion naira and several other governors.
Yeah, but that's an accusation. You haven't proved it yet.
In the court of public opinion, Charles, you know they are guilty.
What I'm talking about is the figures you just quoted.
These are the figures cumulative.
Where did those monies come from?
Well, I can get the breakdown for you.
What were the circumstances?
I can get the breakdown for you.
Get the breakdown and come back and talk to us again. That is one. But let me say this. Do you believe, as an anti-crusader, that there are elements that are unethical and perhaps even corrupt or criminal within the EFCC? And if so, having dedicated yourself to fighting corruption, as you say you have, I'm wondering why you've become a sort of spokesperson for the EFCC rather than remaining neutral and assessing them objectively and telling them, holding their feet to the fire and getting them to operate professionally.
Actually, that's still what I'm doing. The point is, this topic of right of reply, I actually wanted to come and talk about it myself. But then when they asked me to do it, I was like, what a coincidence, no problem. Because the topic is the same, the issues are the same. But once you see the recoveries, also talking about corrupt officials, obviously there's no crime-fighting organization in the world that doesn't have bad eggs.
No, but when you have a preponderant number of bad eggs, it becomes a what?
How many do they have?
Well, that's the point. That's the point, isn't it? The point is that that's why there needs to be particular focus. Because if corruption is as widespread as you, who's an anti-corruption crusader, says that it is, you have said repeatedly that the fact that the corruption is so big in Nigeria that it is impossible for the agencies that the way they're currently constituted to be able to tackle it. That's why I use the term preponderant.
Okay. Now, when this chairman came in, for example, let's be specific for like 1 year. Several officers were found guilty and dismissed. Some of them are going through court cases right now.
Yes, in fairness to the chairman, he did say that there were bad eggs within
there's bad eggs everywhere. I'm not saying there are no bad eggs in the EFCC, no. There are bad eggs everywhere. But when he came, he asked them to declare the assets publicly for us to see. which they did. Anybody can go and check. Second, he set up ethics department, which wasn't existing before. You understand? That's second. Then third, he dismissed those officers that some of them actually, I know the cases because we always, follow up cases and see what is happening. So dismissal of cases, officers and being tried. Once you have a no-nonsense chairman, you get that. That's why I chose those three: Nuhu Ribadu,
Right.
Ibrahim Magu, and Olukaide. The other ones, I don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you know, Mr. Kaka, that there have been lots of videos, for example, that we've seen, showing EFCC operatives being forceful, insensitive, using rough tactics, invading people's homes, indiscriminately arresting people, stereotyping and profiling many people. And that sometimes the EFCC is prevailed upon to employ these tactics against people who have not been found guilty in any sense of the word. In other words, that the EFCC can be sometimes unethical. That's the point that Professor Fidelis was making, because, as I said, even the EFCC chairman has admitted that there are bad eggs, that there is corruption within the EFCC.
Absolutely. He set up an ethics department, tells you the whole story, which wasn't existing. But the main issue is, let's talk about one of the issues he's talked about, the cybercrime. These cyber criminals, I'm not going to sit in Nigeria, take my green passport and travel abroad and be seen as a criminal because of these young people who are always on the computers trying to scam somebody. So when they go after this, most of them are actually university students. Some of them are, not even in university. So the real thing is like these things exist and somebody has to fight for it. If the agencies are not equipped to fight for them, one, we have to strengthen them. Two, we have to give them leeway to fight. So I'm actually calling on the president to send 2 bills to the National Assembly. One, the first bill should be the death penalty. I wish that all these crimes are committed in China. And the answer would have been obvious. So we need a death penalty to be sent to the National Assembly as soon as possible. I don't know if they will pass it or not because most of them are the targets of the bill. Second, I would like the EFCC and the ICPC and the police to be strengthened to fight the monstrous criminals we have in the country. How do you do that? Make sure that some part of the recoveries they are making should be given back to their training.
You mean the financial recoveries?
Yeah, financial recoveries. Just last week, a Lagos High Court found the former governor of Central Bank, Mr. Emefiele, and seized financial forfeiture on his properties worth $2 million. And if the agency is working like that, you come and say as a professor to belittle that. I don't know if his girlfriend went to the EFCC and, he was called upon or something. I hope his wife is actually not watching us, that I'm making this statement.
Well, I wouldn't make that imputation. That's taking it a little bit too far.
Yeah. So,
welcome back, my people. Let's get real about the EFCC and its actual role in Nigeria's economy. The economic struggle Nigeria faces today aren't just due to poor financial policies. They are exacerbated by the very institutions that are supposed to protect our wealth. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, rather than being a guidance of justice, seems increasingly aligned with political interest, which fundamentally compromises its mission. For years, Nigerians have watched as high-profile politicians, the ones truly draining our economic wealth, by ordinary citizens, especially youth, become the scapegoat. The EFCC, in the eyes of many, is quick to harass students and seize properties from hardworking Nigerians under famously suspicious, while failing to effectively challenge the big fish that manipulate the economy from within. Look at what this means from Nigeria's economic outlook. Our currency value is plummeting and inflation is running rampant, while these elite politicians continue to siphon resources. The EFCC's focus is on individuals whose economic contribution are minimal in comparison to the vast sums stolen through unchecked political corruption. Young Nigerians, instead of finding opportunities in a thriving economy, are coerced, harassed, and blamed for the financial meals while enduring an unemployment rate that discourages any kind of legitimate career growth. In time for the EFCC to rethink its priority, fighting internet fraud and small-time corruption isn't just to pull Nigerians out of economic stagnation. Instead, we need serious investigation and accountability measures targeting the millions looted daily from public cover. The EFCC needs to rise to the task as the stakes are high. Every failure to curb elite corruption drags the economy down the range, further eroding public trust and steeping the very good that Nigerian youth would bring to the table. The call for action is clear. Focus on the powerful, not the powerless. And my wonderful viewers and subscribers, this is where I'll be wrapping up this episode. If you're watching for the very first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video across all social media platforms. And also don't forget to click on the notification icon so you'll be notified of our next video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.